Because we just want to celebrate and honor the honorees tonight and everything that KAC has provided in our community. So it's so important that this village celebration where generations can come together and where it's really inclusive and that you can really build a sense of community. So congratulations and thank you very much.
And I'm the Race and Equity reporter for King 5 News in Seattle. I am delighted, thank you. I am delighted to be your MC for this evening's awards dinner. As a first-generation Korean American born in Seoul and a recently naturalized U.S. citizen, I am so honored to be in community with people who look like me and also honored to be your MC. So thank you for being here and joining us for a very special evening.
KAC-WA journey represents the journey of my recycling work, revealing its deep connections to my roots at the BIMA exhibition. Transformation is not only the transformation of discarded materials, but also my own transformation in a new world. And I would like to add that it tells the narratives of Korean Americans as well. As we celebrate tonight's theme of Rising Tide, I'm honored that we have selected Bella Kim and her work to represent the transformation brought upon by the Korean American in our community.
My name is Bella Yong Kim. I'm truly surprised and deeply honored to receive this Artistic Achievement Award. It feels like more than I deserve, but I am incredibly grateful for this recognition. I studied design and fiber arts and worked as an artist in Korea before moving to the US in my late 30s. Adapting a new culture while taking care of my family was challenging, but I kept my passion for art alive by working in antique restoration and making small pieces. After relocating to Washington State, I was able to fully resume my art career by joining the Korean American Artists Association of Washington and expanding my activities with the Northwest Designer Craft Artists. Recently, I had the opportunity to exhibit works inspired by Arirang and KAC-WA at the Bainbridge Island Museum of Art, where I reconnected with my Korean heritage and shared it with the broader community. I look forward to sharing more through my art in the future.
to provide a bit of background for Susan Lee. Susan Lee has been a relentless force in the Korean community for over 30 years. Her resolve ignited by the turmoil of 1992 LA riots. Recognizing the critical need for unity among the Korean Americans to defend their rights and magnify their influence in the US, she has devoted her life to empowering and uplifting the Korean community in Washington State. Driven by deep belief that her political and social advancement of Korean American can only be realized through the collective strength of both first generation and immigrants as well, and the emerging younger generation, Susan took pivotal role of founding Korean American Coalition of Washington State. As an inaugural organizational chair, she spearheaded effort and significantly bolstered visibility and influence of the Korean community across the region. Susan's leadership has extended beyond the local initiative. As a chair of the National Unification Advisory Council, she has been a strong advocate for peace and reunification of the Korean Peninsula. Her contribution as a president of the Greater Seattle Korean Association has solidified her as a cornerstone of the leadership and the service. Through every role, she has exemplified unwavering dedication to advance interests of both Korean and broader American communities, leaving indelible mark on everything she touches. I present Susan Lee.
I'm so honored to receive this Community Service Award from KAC Washington, which holds a very special place in my heart. KAC Washington enabled the first and second generations to effort to defend the rights and to enhance the profile of our Korean American community. It also advocated for King County government to provide election material in Korean. You know that KAC has so many things, and Council General Sanji already talk about the KAC. That's why I'm so proud of what this organization has accomplished. That is why this award is so especially meaningful to me. Well, I have other reasons. Maybe City Mayor received the Rocky King Pioneer Award, which is a Rocky King. It's my younger brother. But anyway, thank you for this award. I'll do my best to continue to support KAC Washington and community. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Susan. Congratulations. All right.
Jonathan Spossato is a serial entrepreneur and a philanthropist from Seattle, Washington. He is the co-founder and chairman of GeekWire, the most widely read tech news site in the region, and owner-publisher of Seattle Magazine. He is also the founder of Joy Sauce Network, a multimedia platform that promotes Asian American talent. Previously, Jonathan sold 2 startups to Google, not 1, but 2, Picnic and FatBits. In 2021, he sold PicMonkey to Shutterstock. Jonathan is a graduate of Whitman College and was inducted into the Asian Hall of Fame this year in 2024, along with Consul General Suh and our Mayor Bruce Harrell.
Thank you so much. Wow. Okay, great, thank you. Wow, thank you. What an incredible honor to share the stage with so many of the other honorees, and Sam, and of course JJ Kim. Oh my gosh, how amazing was he? So I was actually prepared for a few remarks go on for a few minutes here. Instead, I'm actually going to tell you a story that I've never told in public before. This is not something that you can glean off of my LinkedIn or my Wikipedia or my Instagram or anything like that. And it's relevant and germane to this community of mine. I'm so Korean proud. You see, back in 1967, a young Chinese woman came over to this country and landed in Brooklyn, New York when Brooklyn was kind of sketchy at that point. And she came over here from Hong Kong, and she did not have 2 dimes to rub together. She fell in love with a man, and she got pregnant. But they were not allowed to get married. And more on that a little bit later. So she tried to raise me. I was that child who was born to a single mother, and she tried to raise me on her own, but she really couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Didn't have enough money or time or energy. I guess I was a handful. So she sent me to Hong Kong to live with my grandparents, and they raised me, actually up until the time that I was age 10, and came back to the States. So now, you fast forward, I worked hard, I got a little lucky. I'm always the first to say I'm more lucky than good in terms of my business things. And at the age of 50, which was only 7 years ago, right? At the age of 50, my Chinese mother sits me down. And she says, Jonathan, I have to tell you something. I'm like, what? Your father was Korean. Imagine what it's like when you grow up and your entire life up until the time that you're 50 years old, you think you're a Chinese American, and to find out that you're half Korean. You know what that feels like? It feels awesome. All the Korean friends that I have, they're serious badasses. 3 of my Korean American friends. Lena, you know who I'm talking about. 3 of them are neurosurgeons. A 4th is the floss boss. A 5th is my friend Juju, who's on ABC News every single night, right? So I am so proud to be Korean American. Now, there's a little bit of a wrinkle in this story. So last year, I was also very honored to be acknowledged by the Council for Korean Americans in Washington, D.C., another really great, venerable organization celebrating our community. And I was invited to dinner at the Korean ambassador to the U.S.'s house, the ambassador's mansion. It was a very nice dinner. It was a place setting for 20. I thought that this would be a great opportunity to invite my Korean birth father and my half-brother to come, right? Very accomplished. They're both very accomplished. In fact, my half-brother is way more successful than I. I don't know how he does it, okay? But sadly, at the last moment, they canceled. Yes, imagine my disappointment. But it's okay. That's okay. That's okay. What my father said was, it's complicated. It's difficult, right? It's challenging. And I didn't get it at first. And I don't want anyone to feel bad for me. I'm not a victim. I'm not someone who feels sorry for myself. But what I'm trying to say, I'm going to bring it home right here, is that this is why it feels so good to be.
Rocky Kim was a pioneer in his own right, an activist. Many of you in the room knew Rocky. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to meet the great Rocky Kim, but I've heard so many great stories about his advocacy for the Korean American community. I wanted to point out that Rocky's sister is actually Susan Lee, who will receive the Community Service Award today. But his daughter is here today as well. Sharon, thank you so much. So this year's Rocky Kim Pioneer Award goes to the Honorable Mayor Bruce Harrell. The mayor and I actually have traveled to Korea twice in the last year, along with the First Lady, Joanne Harrell. And on those trips, I got to know the mayor very well personally. But beyond that, the mayor actually has deep connections to Korea as well. His father was a Korean War veteran. He fought in Korea for the Republic. He has deep connections in ways that go beyond Korean dramas. I know you love your Korean dramas. And as mayor, I could talk about so many things that he's done to enhance the ties between Seattle and South Korea. I can talk about the sister city relationship we just renewed this spring. I could talk about the MOU that we signed with the Korea Startup Center. But actually today I want to take this opportunity to tell you a story that this community has not heard yet. An instance of how this mayor has stepped up for this community at a time of dire need. Everyone here recalls the tragedy last year in June in 2023 when Ina Kwan and her unborn child was brutally murdered in an act of senseless gun violence in Belltown. At the time of the murder, both Mayor Harrell and I were actually not in the country. Mayor Harrell was in Japan, attending the G7 summit in Hiroshima, Japan. But we had both heard of this tragedy of Ina's murder. But we also heard that Ina's family was having a difficult time obtaining permission to enter the United States because of previous immigration issue. Their family could not attend their own daughter's funeral. The mayor and I went to Seoul, and we were scheduled to meet with many people, but we made time to meet with Ina and her family. Mayor, you probably recall us being in that room with their family. We offered condolences, we shed tears. And right after that meeting, the mayor walked into the U.S. Embassy, met with Ambassador Goldberg, who represents the United States to South Korea. And in that meeting, while there were so many other things that we could have talked about, the mayor personally asked the U.S. ambassador to grant Ina's family entry into the United States so they could attend her funeral. And thanks to the mayor's ask, Ina's family did receive a temporary visa waiver and was able to attend their daughter's funeral. And the mayor graciously made the time to attend her funeral as well and provided remarks.
This feels awkward. Thank you, Sam. I have to lighten it up a little bit. It felt good, Sam, I have to admit, not awkward. You know, and Sharon's made it very clear that the Rocky Kim Award did not have to go to a Korean. Now, how do you know I'm not going to get up here and tell you I just found out that I'm half Korean? Never know. I thank the Korean American Coalition first for your continued leadership in this region and for honoring myself and the fellow honorees and of course Consul General Sal. Thank you so much for your friendship and your leadership as well. I want to start with a quote from Coretta Scott King, and I won't be up here long because Jonathan was up here way too long. The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members. This award is very special to me because I honestly didn't know who Rocky Kim was a few days ago, and I asked my staff to do some research about who was he as a person. And the more information I was given about his compassionate way of leading, his humble way of leading, but still his tenacious way of leading, I became more honored to receive this award. Thank you. He exemplified the compassion and the advocacy and the dedication toward the Korean Americans and others, and fought so consistently for the well-being of others. And so I'm honored to have this award. Now, Sam said a lot of things I was going to say in terms of why I'm so, I don't want to say infatuated, why I adore and respect the Korean community so much. It's very, very simple for me. They lump us all together, right? API, we're all API, API. I didn't grow up hearing this API stuff. Everyone's lumped together. Koreans are the coolest. Get it out there. They're the most soulful. I know Danny's thing I'm talking about. I am talking about you. This is a cool guy right here. Yeah. When you look at the history, many, many years ago, my wife read the book Pachenko, and she started talking about the Korean culture. And then I read it as well. And I started looking at a country that is not an invading country, but one that had to stave off many invasions from different countries. And when I had the beauty of visiting and getting to know Korean Americans here, I really became so not only impressed, but honored to have friends. And so I don't say that I'm too old to give token thanks. This community is very, very special. And I grew up hearing stories from my father, who, as Sam said, did fight in the war. And I get what that was about and why he was so proud to have fought in that war. I just want to be very specific on a few things, and then I'm going to sit down. We'll go back, because some of the business relationships, our relationship with KAIST, I want to thank my wife, who comes to Korea with me, for making sure these relationships are real. We're just getting started. I am the first mayor in 150 years of Asian descent to lead Seattle. We are a port city. Korea remains our fourth largest trading partner. As Sam talked about with the Korea Startup Center, to promote Korea startups opening here. There are satellite offices established here. One has a headquarters here in Seattle. This is really good work. For the first time in 20 years, Seattle is importing Hyundai and Kia vehicles through our port. The action is happening right now, and it's because of organizations like this one right here and the leaders right in front of me. I will be right alongside of you, and I don't say leading the way because I see Deputy Mayor Heo Kim here. You have great Korean leaders here. You have the Sam Cho. I think I'm going to have to give Sam Cho a raise after that introduction. That's okay. That's okay. He deserved it because he is an up-and-coming political superstar, and that's why I wanted to latch on to him. I don't do a lot of things well, but one thing I do well is I recognize talent.
To the KAC-WA Washington Gala, tonight we are here to celebrate not only the vibrant culture we share, but also the remarkable achievement of Korean American Coalition of Washington. Let me extend my heartfelt appreciation to my good friend Sam Jo. Where is Sam? Where is he now? Okay. Sam Jo, the president of the KAC. To truly represent the heart of our community's rising tide. I also thank the board members and exceptional staff of KAC Washington for organizing this wonderful event. To tonight's award winners, your dedication is inspiring, and I offer my sincere congratulations for all you do for the future of our Korean Americans. Looking back, I remember attending the very first KAC meeting of the San Francisco chapter over 20 years ago while I was serving as a counselor there. Back then, it was a small gathering of about 10 young people in a rented room at church, all dedicated to advancing political rights and border registration for Korean Americans. At that time, there wasn't a single Korean American in Congress. But nowadays, 2 decades later, we have 4 Korean American House representatives and even the possibility of our first Korean American US Senator with 1.1 million registered Korean American voters. KAC has played a pivotal role in this extraordinary journey. Beyond politics, our community is leaving its mark across every field, from business to technology to arts, with leaders and visionaries shaping our local and national landscapes. This isn't just a personal achievement, it's a collective win for our values and a bright promise for the future. On a personal note, as Sharon mentioned, I recently had the distinct honor of becoming the first foreign diplomat inducted to the Asian Hall of Fame. A recognition that belongs as much to our community as it does to me. KAC Washington, in particular, has been a beacon of support and advocacy for our community.
Working to increase voter registration and voter participation, thanks to a generous grant received by King County Elections. This past year, we actually started a new program called KAC-WA Social Club, and we recognized that we were not. We have some KAC-WA Social Club over there. We recognized that we were not doing enough to build just community. So KAC-WA Social Club is a space for anyone who identifies as Korean American to come together, socialize, and provide peer-to-peer mentoring and networking. This year's theme is Rising Tide, because Koreans across the globe, but also in our country and our region, are a rising tide, as the mayor mentioned. Not just because of K-pop or K-drama or K-beauty. Korean culture is more prevalent and popular than ever before, but just not in this space. We are rising in business and politics. We have record 4 members of Congress who are of Korean descent. And hopefully, after next week, we will have our first ever Korean American United States Senator in Andy Kim from New Jersey. So as you can see, Koreans are a rising tide. However, we believe that a rising tide should lift all boats. So we as an organization are committing to you today that through your support, your generous support tonight.
그 자기가 목표하는 성취하는 것을 이루라고. 그런 이미지로 이 사인을 쓴 거예요. 활. 네, 좋죠. 네. 이 활을 그린 거예요. 네.
I hope we need two additional. Thank you. Just one.
Did you guys want to put a card down for like live action items?
Good to see you again. Yes,
The business leader today.
Yeah. Bruce, I swear I'm not stalking you. We meet again. Cheers.
You uploaded awarded today the Rocky Kim, the Pioneer Award. Rocky Kim is the Sujan. Rocky Kim is her younger brother.
Oh, very good. A little research.
All right, 500. Anyone at 500? 500. 265 at 500. 550. Anyone 550? 441 at 550. 600. 384 at 600. 384 at 600.